Welcome home to philosophy, where we wonder about everything and anything is possible. Hi, I'm Dr. Robert Corey, the Laughing Philosopher. Life is complicated. The world is complicated, and you are complicated. Figuring out how to live a happy, meaningful life, guided by wisdom and reason, is not easy. Is life a game? What is love? Should I fear death? Is this a just world? Almost from the moment of birth, you've been told how to behave, how to fit in, and how to fulfill other people's expectations. You fear that you will lack importance or cease to exist in the lives of others if you think for yourself and question the rules and roles you've been told define you. Wisdom and reason will remove this illusion so you can live authentically in the world around you, find your true purpose, and become your real self. Welcome to episode number 118. How Socrates and Kierkegaard saved me from a life unlived. There are some truths we spend a lifetime waiting to hear. Truths we wish someone had explained to us while playing catch, tying our shoes, or brushing hair from our eyes. But no one did. Not because they didn't love us, but because they didn't know either. So we look for guidance in all the normal places. Approval, applause, acceptance. We join the crowd. We obey the rules. We act out the roles. We play at being. Until one day, something feels off. Under the mask, there is no one. There is only the mask. And the life we're living doesn't feel like our own. That's when Socrates whispers to us, an unexamined life is not worth living. And suddenly, we see the truth. We've been living by borrowed dreams, haunted by the question no one ever told us to ask. Am I truly living my own life? In this episode of The Laughing Philosopher, I will share 4 life-saving insights I wish I had learned a lot sooner. The wisdom that my mother never taught me, but Socrates and Kierkegaard did. Chapter 1. My mother should have told me that human life is not priceless. What matters most is the currency we choose to value it. We measure the value of human life all the time. It's not priceless. Just listen to people. He lived a full life. She was a leader of the community. He was the most successful CEO in the company's history. She was loved by everyone. He will be remembered forever. We measure life's worth every day, but what currency are we using? We reserve the word success to mean wealth, power, prestige, and fame. We use these goals and achievements as currency to measure and value a successful life. And yet, the great philosophers, Confucius, Siddhartha, Socrates, and Jesus, rejected these worldly goals as incomplete and inadequate currency. The greatest minds elevated goodness and virtue as the most important currency above all others. Life is no soft affair. It's a long, hard road we're on. Things will be thrown at us and things will hit us. We will be bumped, pushed, and knocked down. Everyone you meet will be fighting the same hard battle. Did you help alleviate someone else's suffering? Did you help shoulder their burden? Did you show compassion? Did you comfort the victim? Did you welcome the stranger? Did you defend the innocent against the majority? Did you care for the injured? Did you forgive others for their failings, just as you forgive yourself for your own mistakes? Success, said the great philosophers, means more than money, status, and influence. Social good is the best and most important currency to measure life's value. Wealth does not bring goodness, said Socrates, but goodness brings wealth and every other blessing, both to the individual and to the state. Socrates rejects material success as paramount. The true currency is moral and spiritual goodness. Are you using the right currency to measure the value of your life? A life judged by worldly standards, wealth, power, image, is meaningless without personal reflection and integrity. Ever notice how the most successful people live the most unhappy lives? Through hard work and hard attention, they climb the ladder of success, step by step, to the very top. But once reaching the summit of success, a prestigious title, or powerful office, or gargantuan paycheck guarantees success, but it doesn't guarantee happiness. The ladder they've been climbing is standing against the wrong wall. They wake up at the top of the wrong ladder. They've used the wrong currency to value their life. Success leads to worry, nervousness, and unease. Anxiety becomes depression. Depression becomes self-loathing. And self-hatred can lead to self-murder. And so it does, every day by the dozens. Face the facts of being who you are, said Kierkegaard, for that is what changes what you are. Kierkegaard calls us to authenticity, not measured by fame and fortune, but by inner truth and moral goodness. I've learned from Socrates and Kierkegaard that a human life is not priceless, but what currency should we choose to value our life's worth? Climb the wrong ladder? Spend your heartbeat striving for the wrong currency? And reviewing the contents of your life will feel like watching the fast-moving second hand on a clock. Each second is like every other, an empty moment, a moment devoid of feeling, meaning, and value. A lifetime of such moments will be meaningless, unfulfilling, and unhappy. John Keats, the English Romantic poet, urged his friend and poet Percy Bysshe Shelley to load every rift with ore. Fill every gap, fill every opportunity in your life with something of true value. Enrich every aspect of your life and work. Make the most of every situation and make your life as full, rich, and meaningful as possible. Life is not too short. We just waste too much of it climbing the wrong ladders. Life has value only when lived in pursuit of our own inward truth and not society's definition of success. Kierkegaard said, "What I really need is to get clear about what I must do, to find a truth which is truth for me." Chapter 2. My mother should have told me that self-love is the reservoir of all love. We don't need other people to validate our life and value our life's worth. Almost from the moment of birth, you've been told that the value of your life is determined not by you, but by the crowd. If the majority of people think your life has value, then you have value. And if the majority of people believe your life has no value, then you have no value. You've been told that the purpose of your life is not to fulfill the dreams you have about who you aspire to be, but to fulfill other people's expectations of who you ought to be. You've been told that without other people cheering you on, you will not only fail, you won't find the strength to move. You've been told not to question the majority. Kneel. Socrates reminds us that self-knowledge begins in personal humility, not in seeking approval or acceptance from others. He said, "The only thing I know is that I know nothing." You can't learn anything about yourself if you think you already know everything. And you can't learn, grow, and seek to become better if you chase approval from the crowd. The crowd is untruth, said Kierkegaard. Kierkegaard warns us that seeking truth in the collective opinion of others leads us away from our authentic self. Only the individual can discover what truly matters. Don't join the crowd. Be guided by your own wisdom, experience, and good character. There is always more than one truth. Your truth, my truth, and the truth. Be true to yourself and your truth. If you are ever tempted to look for outside approval, said Epictetus, the Stoic philosopher, realize that you have compromised your integrity. If you need a witness, be your own. Good character is measured not by how much you are loved by others, but by how much you love. One act of kindness, no matter how small, is more important and valuable than 1,000 good intentions. Don't have friends? Doesn't matter. Don't fear solitude. You take yourself with you wherever you go. Learn to be your own best friend. Learn to love being alone, and you will never be lonely. Talk to yourself. The most important conversations you have are with yourself. Solitude is not empty. It is full of answers. The most important relationship you will ever have is with yourself. Other people's judgments, definitions, and labels are limiting and misleading. Your truth comes from within you. Kierkegaard said, "Once you label me, you negate me." What really matters is how well you walk through the fire, said Charles Bukowski, an American writer known for his raw and unfiltered language. You are not here to be liked. You are not here to be applauded, accepted, and approved by others. You are not guaranteed to be loved. Trying to satisfy other people's expectations is like thirsting and drinking from the ocean. You will be even more thirsty again. What others think of you doesn't matter. Rightness and wrongness doesn't matter. There are 1,000 right ways and 1,000 wrong ways to do anything. As for the correct way, the right way, and the only way, it doesn't exist. Having the last word doesn't matter because there isn't one. Keeping up appearances is insatiable. Pleasing everyone else's emotions is unattainable. In the grand scheme of things, nothing matters because there isn't one. Bukowski's gravestone bears a simple inscription: "Don't try." Don't try to please others. Don't try to displease others. Don't obey. Don't disobey. Don't strive. Don't give up. Don't be yourself. Don't be anyone else. Don't look up to anyone. Don't look down on anyone. Don't be perfect. Don't be imperfect. Don't try. Just be. Whatever people try to do, they will regret it sooner or later. Growth is an internal journey. We measure our worth not by public approval, but by our own self-reflection and examined progress. Socrates said, "I do not think much of a man who is not wiser today than he was yesterday. Chapter 3. My mother should have told me that regret is absurd and pointless. The past is not a judge, but a teacher. Socrates said, I am not distressed at having to die, for no evil can happen to a good man, either in life or after death. There is no point to regret. Only virtue matters. Regrets over the past are absurd, irrational, and make no sense. Whatever bad thing you did that you shouldn't have, or whatever good thing you didn't do that you should have, was bound to happen and could not have been prevented. Given exactly the same situation and exactly the same circumstances, you would be exactly the same person and you would act in exactly the same way as you did in the first place. Do you really think you could have behaved any differently in the same situation? Everything happens just as it should. Like a vending machine with a broken spring. You can punch it, kick it, and beat it, but the machine can never give you the drink you paid for. So long as the situation is the same, the vending machine has a broken spring, and it will never behave any differently than it did the first time. Even if you return to the past over and over for the first time, times without number, you will make the same mistake again and again. You have a broken spring. Holding on to a regret is like holding a hot coal in your hand. It's pointless. Let it go. You'll feel better. Life can only be understood backwards, but it must be lived forwards, said Kierkegaard. Reflecting on our past helps us learn, not punish ourselves. Reflection must never stop us from living. The past teaches, it doesn't imprison. Everything is unfolding just as it should. Regret is absurd. Ever notice how a person will lose a job and feel that it's the end of the world and the worst thing that ever happened to him? Then will find a better job and feel that losing his job was the best thing that ever happened to him. Ever notice how today's regret becomes tomorrow's blessing, and today's blessing becomes tomorrow's regret? We live forwards. We understand life backwards. And chapter 4. My mother should have told me that today is all that matters, and it is always today. Do not dwell on the past, said Socrates. Do not dream of the future. Concentrate the mind on the present moment. Socrates steers us back to the present, to the now, to the only true reality. Wisdom comes not from mourning the past, but from acting rightly now. We can know the past, but we can't change it. We can change the future, but we can't know it. There is no perfect life. We will make mistakes, but we don't get to start over. We get to wake up. We get clarity. You have a total, absolute freedom that is wider and deeper than you think or care to admit to yourself. Reflect on your limitless choices of how to live, and you may feel overwhelmed by your absolute freedom. You may end up choosing nothing, doing nothing at all, and defaulting to conformity and the crowd. Kierkegaard calls this dilemma the dizziness of freedom. We need to give up. We need to stop trying to satisfy other people's expectations. Stop trying to be everything to everyone. Only then can we choose to commit to one life and go on living. Only then can we take ownership of our life. Your life consists of a certain number of heartbeats that is measurable and not infinite. You can spend every heartbeat only once. So the real cost of anything is the number of heartbeats you must exchange for it. Spend your heartbeats wisely, doing the things you're good at, and spend them on the people you love. Learn to say no. No, I want fewer friends, but more often. I want to see 5 true friends 10 times each in a year, rather than 50 passing friends only once. The most powerful word in every language is no. Learn to say, no, I would prefer not to. Philosophy doesn't give us all the answers, but sometimes it gives us the right questions. Questions that were right in front of our eyes all the time, but hidden by familiarity. Whose life am I living? What really matters to me? Am I brave enough to think for myself and figure out how to live? What if no one else approves? These are the questions Socrates and Kierkegaard asked. Not because they lived perfect lives, but because they understood the painful price of living someone else's. I wish someone had told me all of this sooner. Now I offer it to you, and maybe, just maybe, that's enough. Why is it so hard to say, I don't know? You're even afraid to say it because your value to the world is determined by how much you know. So you're under constant pressure to know. You must always know. You must always be certain and never uncertain. You must look like you know even when you don't know. You must act like you know what you don't. You must never change your mind, even when you know you're wrong. When things go wrong, you must go with them. You can't learn anything if you deceive yourself into believing you already know it. The great philosophers don't hand us answers. They hand us a mirror, and sometimes that's just what we need to see ourselves clearly. Are you living your own life or just rehearsing someone else's script? Are you brave enough to listen to your own heart? These are questions that saved me from a life that looked happy and successful from the outside, but felt empty and pointless from the inside. When shadows overlap each other, do they get darker? My mother never asked me this, but Socrates and Kierkegaard did. Thanks for listening. Philosophers don't know everything. They know what matters. Until we meet again, this is Dr. Robert Corey, the Laughing Philosopher. Let's take life seriously, but not too seriously.